Now I'd like to turn to Bob Farquhar for his 15-minute segment on structure building techniques. Before I go to Bob, I want to explain though the short halt that I'm making between the various segments is to give Daryl Lloyd time to stop the recording and restart it to make his life easier of posting the individual segments that we have on the show. And that's the reason for the slight delay. So Bob, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right, gentlemen, I'll start sharing screen here. And that one, and do this guy. So this is going detailing here tonight. And one of the first tips I'm going to say, a couple of times have the structure finished, or somebody's picking up to look at it and it drop it and break apart. You have to put a new part in. And I've lost track of what the color I used. And I got a lot of the paints that the colors are very close to each other. And so I don't know what that shade is. So I write it down a card and I paste it on the inside of one of the walls. So I don't have that happen again. For detailing, these two top ones, these are examples of a bakery and also a little cafe or a restaurant. And if you're going to light up a room, two things here on the one on the left, it's this wall hides the other half of the building type of thing. So you don't have to do the whole inside of a building. This is an example, just to the front part. And for HO scale, I know, I don't know if they used to do in scale as well. Vector Cut makes donuts and bagels and things like that. These cakes, I'll show you how to do them later. This, for example, this is O scale. This one with the push pins with the metal pin part cut off. And then we'd probably use a hole punch on this and make a little cushion for the top of that, as an example. Down here, if you go into Google search, and this example, bakery interior, and you go to images, you'll get all kinds of pictures like this. And then you can use, print them off and use them in your building, interior of the building, or use them as ideas. So, and there's another example of a little cafe type of thing. And you can make these display cases if you want. You can do some, don't have to use a curved glass. You can do a straight glass down here. Let's make it, so you see inside there. Now, this is an example of HO scale bookcase. This guy has done a bunch of pieces of wood, colored them, and use a little pen of some sort and make it look like there's markings on the end of the book. So get that a few inches away from the front of the layout, and it looks like there's a book titles on here. So this next one here, now this one here, this guy did all these detail parts in gum. And I thought it was kind of a neat idea. I never thought of using gum for that. This being another good example for lighting up a room and detailing the interior. This one here is by Brian Nolan. This guy here is a fabulous modeler. This is HO scale, and you got tons of detail on the signage, the windows, the dirty windows, and so on. This shade pull, and this scarf, he actually hand painted the little flowers on that in HO scale. Beautiful stuff. This one here is by Ken Hamilton. He models a lot in O scale, and there's a tremendous amount of detail in here. He also manufactures this brass etched firescape something. It's wildhairmodels.com if you're ever interested in doing the firescapes. He has an HO scale as well. And I think it has an in scale too, but it's wild hair, HARE models.com. This is one I've done. When I go to train shows, I try to find somebody selling diesels really cheap. Maybe they're not running properly, whatever. I only want the shells. I discard the chassis and the running gear. And what I do is cut apart all these parts of the diesel. That one here is very obvious. But then you can turn them into air conditioning units for a roof of a building. This is square tubing, and it's rounded off here on the edges or on the top here, so it's more curved for the airflow. These one vents here, these are tops of water bottles. So they have a blue cap. You pull it up and then allows the water come through this part here. And then when your finger's drinking a bit of water, you can put the blue cap down again. So I break off the blue cap and cut off this part here, and then you got nice, nice vents. This one here is just a little cafe and wine bottles and plates, and we have hot dogs and cheeseburgers and stuff like that. Cheeseburgers and hot dogs came from Vector Cut, but I don't believe they're in business anymore. I can't find them on the internet unless somebody's bought them and changed the name, but they had a whole bunch of really good detailed parts. And this one here, O-Scale, I don't know who did this, but it's just a phenomenal amount of detail. And it must have cost him a bundle of money for getting these parts, because that's like, if he made this on his own, well, good for him, because I have no idea how you could do that. That's a tremendous amount of detail. And there's a bakery I did, and I'm not good at photography, so you can't see the inside that well. So making the cakes, I use a hole punch in there. You can use a thick cardstock or a thin piece of veneer wood of some sort. And you do like a big size and a medium size and a little small one. And you stack them on top of each other, paint them white, and you have a wedding cake and as an idea. And then you could just put a little donut hole here for the cop eating them. This one here is one of my twin mills is a kit from Sierra West. And there's an old mill in beside this one, and this is supposed to be the newer mill. This is while I'm building it. But it comes with resin castings. That one's a resin casting, this one here too. So it's a matter of coloring them up, and it's really nice stuff that he puts out. But so basically the logs will come up on a slope up in here and be pulled up in here by chains, and then rolls down here into this carriage, and then goes a twin blade saw, and that part falls down here. You use a cutoff saw here, then you can carry it off to the other side of the other building. And these air casting here comes with it as well. So the roofing is supposed to be permanent on there. So I built this, I changed all the design of it. So I have the roofs removable. So I have one roof here that removes, this one removes, and this over here removes, because there's a lot of detail inside to hide. I got the sawdust just from a local lumber yard. So that's it for tonight. Back to you, Jim.